One of the things I really enjoy is getting out in the landscape and just looking and finding some objects. I'm at the beach, but you could be in the garden, you could be in your park, walking along the road, picking up little leaves, shells. I'm at the beach, so it's shells, but it doesn't have to be twigs, grasses, anything that catches your eye that you might think would make a good mark. I've got some of my found objects that I have brought back from the beach. Now these are over a few walks, so I probably look like I've got a lot, but there's not really that much. I've got sort of lots of grasses like this, which is lovely in itself. You could use that, you don't even need it made into a brush. Other things like these little bits of twigs, I've put them together very simply to use as a little brush. Got some edges, some shells, which I use little edges to scratch in to paint. So that's an interesting thing. They're all very simple. There's another one, again, I don't do anything with it. It's just as it comes. It's seaweed. But you could find lots of different versions. I've got seaweed, but there's lots of different things you'll find in nature that will give you that nice crunchy texture. Feathers, strings, another great one, and twigs, lots of twigs. So hopefully you've got a good selection, but even 2 or 3 things to try will give you lots of different marks. So that's my little bunch of feathers I'm going to make into this brush. Just very quick, really. Don't be too worried about what you're doing here. It's just really getting a nice tight bunch. Get some tape. I've got some tape here. I'm just going to attach it, very simple, like that, like that. Go around a few times and just make sure it's secure. Try and get a tape that when you dip it into water, it's going to be a little bit waterproof. So sellotape will work. I've just got some of this green tape because it was to hand, but whatever you have to hand, but masking tape's not brilliant. So that's really it. And that's my feather brush I'm going to try. Keep some big feathers out. You see I've left some out because they'll be lovely just on their own, just to get some lovely soft marks, but this is worth trying. And if you have a nice long stick, it'll make it much more sort of different for you. I've got all my things here for mark making, and I'm just putting out some inks. This is just black ink, but you can use paints, you can use watercolours. I've just chosen these. I've got some diluted ink as well. I've got some blue paint there, just very watery. Try and water it down. I've got some water in some pots to just dilute, and then I've got just some white paint. That's white acrylic, but it can be white ink, and I've also got some white. So I'm trying to keep it simple. I've got a little bit of colour there as well, and I've got a rag just to because it gets quite messy, and it should be fun. This is all about having a bit of fun and just experimenting. It's not trying to make a pretty picture at all. It's adding to your tools really, because paint brushes just give you the same mark, whereas this will hopefully open up some different ideas for you when you're painting. So this is my seed head, so I'm just going to start. This is lovely. So I'm going to dip it into my diluter ink, and we're just going to see what marks we can get from it. Try and work with the what you've got. Make your body work with it, and I think you'll find you'll get even better and more interesting marks. As I say, if you could dilute it, you can get really nice marks. So sort of move with it, so it almost becomes a bit of a movement piece as well, and just enjoy it, and just enjoy and see what marks it does. I love that. You get lovely sort of lines with that one. So let's see if we can get a contrast, maybe with the seaweed. So I'm going to get a different colour. I'm going to get the blue so you can see the contrast. This is lovely. I always think this looks like pebbles, or actually that's, see, you get lovely clumpy pebbles, rocks, marks with this. Could be birds in the sky. It's just lovely. Okay, so that's the seaweed. What about these? Let's see what we get with these. These are my grasses, so I'm going to put them in the diluted one. This is just diluted ink. Make sure you get them well covered. There we go. And just drag it, I think. Now, I'm just going to get my rag here and just take away a bit of that ink. And you start to get nice overlaps there. Don't be afraid to go back over things you've done and experiment with your marks, and you start to get some really nice effects. So that was the seaweed that gave us those. And you can contrast it, come in with some white afterwards as well. Cut through it, and it's just a bit of pastel, but chalk or anything you've got on hand. So I'm going to change my paper now. So the feathers are absolutely lovely to work with, really drippy. I'm just going to put a bit more water into this blue. And let's have a look here. I also think this makes lovely soft clouds, really, so I'm hoping this will get a feed of this. Just lovely. It's nice if you can work big, because with these twigs you can really get a bit more of that. This is quite watered down. I'm just going to get a bit more ink. Just to get a bit of contrast. And just press down hard. Oh, that's nice. So it just feels like waves and sea and sky to me. We're just experimenting, really. You don't have to make a picture, but hopefully you get some ideas of how you can use it. And again, you can go in and get a little bit of contrast maybe in. makes nice. This is just a rag. We can come in with something else. There's my black. This is just string. I want to try that was a lovely soft marks. So I want to get a line with this. I'm just going to see if I can get a nice line. Oh yes, that's. You can adjust how you lean on it as well to play with your marks. So they're almost like little reeds or something, little grasses. I'm leaning very lightly, and I'm going to show you. Look at that, just from string. Oh, that's a great paintbrush. Use your body to move. Yeah, that's rather lovely. Okay, I think that's probably one of my favourites is the string. Okay, what else is there? Little seed heads. I haven't tried this one yet, so I have no idea what this is going to be like. So I'm going to try on the white. Come in on the blue, yeah. So again, you're getting lovely textured marks. Really nice. Maybe break up a bit of the black. You get really lovely little marks there, which you wouldn't get with if you were trying to get this with a paintbrush. I really don't know how you'd get it. So that looks like a little shoreline to me. But it doesn't have to look like anything, but because it's just all about finding out, exploring, having fun, not worrying too much. So I'm going to put that to one side. You also don't have to use, I like using big sheets, but if you've got one of these small bits of paper, that can be nice too. You can make nice soft marks. This is one of these grass heads again, which I'm going back to have another look at it. This is just a little grass head, and I've used these before, and you get lovely swirly marks with them, and lots of little trails of paint. So it's quite a nice one to use. So any little branches or any little bushes in your garden, go and have a investigate what you've got to try. So, and again, they're just so lovely, great fun, and I hope you're having a bit of fun with this, because that's what it's all about, having fun, see what you can create. And pouring is another nice thing to do, so you're kind of pouring with this. Making your own Jackson Pollock. Just have fun. You could keep going with that, using lots of different colours and create your own Jackson Pollock. And use your body to help twist. There you go. Is that everything? Some more string. So I'm just going to dip this in. Got a completely different texture to the last one. And again, you can just drag it. And don't forget to go back in with a rag or a bit of tissue to keep playing into your marks. Just going to get a bit more here, just a bit of. And it just brings a little bit of texture in. Okay, so I hope you really enjoy that exercise. And have a play and see what all your marks can do for you, and then hopefully when you're outside you'll find lots more and give you ideas for new paintings. So I think my favourite is probably this one, which gave me lots of, because I've got them all from the beach, so it kind of gives me this feeling of the beach and the sky and grasses and twigs. So it's interesting how things that you find in nature takes you back to nature very quickly. One last little thing that I often do, if there's a bit of your drawing, have a look at your marks that you've made. I'm sure there's bits you like, bits like me, bits I don't really like, but there'll always be something that stands out for me. For this one, it's this little area here, and I think it would be quite nice maybe to keep it, maybe lose the rest. So if you can get some bits of just card or cardboard and cut them into little, like a little window like that, and lay them over some areas and see what you like. Where's the bits that really sort of speak to you and you like when you put them in? It's just like a little picture frame. I particularly like this, and I like having a little bit of space, and that to me would make a really nice little picture. So have a look at yours and see what you can find, and then you can cut that out and put it in a little frame and have your first bit of art, have a little bit of artwork from today, and it's lovely. It's a lovely little keepsake. So here are two of the mark making pages that I've cropped, and I'm really pleased with them. So really go in on your work and frame them and see what you can find. Get your best, have a play, get your best bits, and you'd be surprised what you've created. And they just have taken me back to where I started with these, with the sea on the shoreline, birds flying overhead and the waves. So see what you get from yours. I'd love to see them and put them in little mounts.